Let me turn to the next story, because the CBI today has lost its face in the additional spectrum allocation case, as has the former UPA government of Manmohan Singh. The Supreme Court today threw out a case against former Telecom Secretary Shamal Ghosh. The top court not only gave a clean chit to Ghosh, but has ripped apart the CBI, accused it of framing the bureaucrat, and has targeted the previous UPA government. The CBI had filed a charge sheet accusing the former bureaucrat of a criminal conspiracy, which the court has found distorted and fabricated. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has now hit out at former Telecom Minister Kapil Sibal, blaming him for the conspiracy. Sibal has hit back, saying that the attack is on the CBI and not on him. I'm going to raise a fundamental question today. Who will compensate an honest bureaucrat who had to face disgrace?
The rumor has it that the finance minister manages the CBI better than anybody else. I would request my good friend Mr. Jaitley to check with the CBI if ever I have ever spoken to them about this case. The fact of the matter is I myself learned about the prosecution reading it from the newspapers. So Mr. Jaitley seems to be living in a world of his own, in a world of make-believe.
I want to go at this moment to Shamal Ghosh, the former Telecom Secretary, because I believe today an honest bureaucrat needs to speak up. Sir, first of all today, after what the special court has said, not the Supreme Court, the special court in the 2G scam, saying the case was framed and fabricated against you, what would you like to say today to us? Does this mean that you were in a sense targeted by the previous UPA government to settle scores with the NDA?
Well, this decision was of the trial court, as you pointed out, Rajdeep, and not of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
It was at the stage of whether charges should be framed or discharge should take place. And the court decided today that this case should not be carried on further and has discharged those who were accused, including me. Now, the basic theme of what has happened is, it relates to a period when the new telecom policy of 1999 was being implemented. I was the secretary of the department from February 2000 to May 2002, and this case is, the charge sheet was filed against me in 2012. That's nearly a decade after I retired. What has me is that firstly, the policy was implemented in letter and spirit and law.
Right.
The policy was implemented in the proper perspective, and that is reflected in the result of what the telecom sector has gone through. It has grown exponentially.
But sir, you've lost, you've lost a decade, you've lost almost several years where your name was targeted, brought into a case, you were effectively being accused of in some way, some form of corruption, dare I use the word, and your reputation 10 years after you retired as a bureaucrat was under a cloud. Today, what would you like to say? What does this say about the CBI in this country? What does it say about our ministers? Are they being used to settle, to even frame an honest bureaucrat? Do you feel had you lost faith in our government machinery?
You see, I would say that I have, my faith in the judicial system has been reposed, in the sense the court has vindicated the stand which was taken, that it followed the policy prescribed and it was in the interest of the growth of the telecom sector. Now the question is whether that what was done was in public interest or not. Who will determine what is in public interest? It is the results of the sector, whether the public has gained as a result of these policies and implementation. If the penetration of telecom in this country is in the region of 90%, what is it a result of? It's the cumulative effect of what has been done through policy, through implementation, and the outcome that has come.
I have just 30 seconds. I want to ask you though this. What is the answer? Because there will be bureaucrats hopefully who will be watching this program, or people who want to join the services. What would you like? Can an honest bureaucrat therefore be framed for framing what he believes at that moment is an honest policy, because subsequently a government believes that the policy was flawed in some way? Do you believe honesty and honestly framing a policy also can today get you into trouble?
I would again revert back to my original statement saying that the decision given by the trial court will certainly increase the level of comfort of the bureaucrats.
Okay.
That there is a greater authority under the constitution of this country which can oversee what has been done by the executive, by the prosecution agencies, and ultimately is the judiciary which will have to come to a judicious decision. So that will be a level of comfort which the bureaucracy would like to take from this decision.
I'm going to leave it there. I think maybe I was expecting you to lash out, but I'm surprised that there is no anger in you. And I think that speaks well, that despite all that has happened, there wasn't a trace of anger that I detected today in the way this case has gone. I appreciate, Shamal Ghosh, you're joining us and telling us on a day when the special court has delivered that judgment.